What's up, you guys? Good morning, good evening, whatever applies to you. Hope you are staying safe. And today is the day of the seventh video of the 8 video series where I talk about my experience, my story with pornography, right? So in this video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about. This is a fancy title, obviously. From darkness to light to the best possible life. That's a fancy title, so to speak. But I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I feel and what changed in me since I started my recovery. Right? There's a lot to uncap. So again, sit back, don't pop some porn, and pay attention. Right? These are the topics that I'm gonna talk to you guys about today. Right? Resensitization. I talked to you guys about the desensitization before, so this is the quite opposite, right? So confidence, obviously elevated confidence. So then the third topic is mental presence, that's a big one. Then the fourth topic is focus. Fifth one is composure, right? Sixth one is purpose, and the seventh one is alertedness, right? So here's a disclaimer, right? Up to this day, there is certain moments in my life where I get like mild urges. They are not too strong, but I still do get mild urges, and that's not gonna go away for years. But right now, I know how to cope with it. I know what to do instead of going down that path. So that's a disclaimer. And I will discuss these topics in this video. So moving on to the first topic of the day, which is resensitization. This is one of the biggest things I've noticed since I started my recovery, right? The thing is that back then I didn't value much of anything. I didn't feel much of anything, right? Now I feel much deeper, and I feel the emotions. I value things. I value lives. I value opportunities in my life, and I'm much more grateful for the things I have in my life, from my family to my real friends and the relatives who are rooting for me, not the relatives who are just stabbing me in the back. I'm not angry with any of them, but I just don't have time in my life spared for those people, right? That's a side note. Resensitization, that's the thing that I feel. I feel like, for instance, love and compassion, those things in a much deeper sense than I felt before. Even when I talk to someone I really love and care about, right? For instance, my best friend, when we talk, like I can connect to her in a much deeper sense. And when I say I love you to her or to anyone else, there's this feeling that I feel that's hard to describe, hard to put into words. You may think that I'm consuming pornography every day and I feel great. That might be the case. You might feel great, or you think you might feel great, but there's this amazing feeling, this amazing potential of feeling happiness and feeling positivity that's inside you, that used to be inside you before pornography came along, and you have forgotten that even exists. You've been feeling this mediocre way for so long that you have forgotten what it's really like to feel that positivity, right? So that's the resensitization, right? I feel a lot, and I'm excited to spend my life and to go after things, go after my goals and achieve them. And since I started my recovery up to this day, I have done a tremendous job at chasing my goals and achieving them. Then moving on to the second subtopic of the day, which is confidence. This subtopic, this particular thing expands to every aspect of my life, right? Be it, be it talking to a stranger, be it chasing a goal, be it talking to a girl, or even, be it trying out a personal record in my workouts or preparing for a set, right? I'm a lot more confident um, than before that I can get this done, you know. And also, here's another thing: I'm no longer kissing bum cheeks of girls for attention and, bobs and vagine, so to speak, South Asian reference. Um, I don't do that, Now I no longer beg for attention of anyone, right? If they give me attention, great. If they don't give me attention, that's also fine. That's not the end of the world. I'm I'm perfectly confident within myself, right? So that's huge because before it was like I was reliant, I was dependent on validation of other people because my own self-confidence was crushed down. But now I don't seek out for that, but I do attract a lot of positive energy, positive attention from people. Right, that's the thing. People, especially girls, are reading your subtle cues of confidence. I mean, they don't know it, you don't know it. Neither of the parties knows it, but you guys are being read, especially by girls. Really subtly, subconsciously, they do that. So they pick up on that positive energy, right? The positive confidence that you have. So that's the confidence, and that's probably the most pronounced benefit out of all these things. That's the most present and the most um, the biggest thing that you can see right off the bat. So that's it for the confidence. Moving on to the third topic, which is mental presence, right? This is also a big one. I will make sort of an analogy for you guys to understand, like really understand what I'm talking about here, right? So let's say there's a room, and in this room there's a system, a detector that can that can detect and grab the sounds around it. And if this room has like 25 different sources of sound, let's say that device, that system grabs onto the most pronounced sound in the room, right? Let's say, and let's say this room is like it's filled with sources of sounds, right? It's filled with like 25 different sources of sounds. So if that's the case, that device, that system picks up on one sound, one specific sound from one source becomes much lower, right? That system picking up a specific sound from a specific source becomes much lower. That's the basic scenario here. So my mind was like that when I was a porn addict, right? So now compared to back then, right now my mind is like that room and that system, but with one source of sound most of the time. This isn't to say that I never get scattered focus, right? We all do. So that's a normal thing, but scattered focus is much rarer for me these days, and I'm pretty sure that I can gain that laser focused focus and presence if I keep practicing this, right? I haven't done enough practicing as of yet, so that's why I get that scattered feeling in my focus and in my presence from time to time. But for the most part, let's say when I do something like, be it cooking, be it cleaning, be it listening to music, or be it listening to someone, I am present at that moment. I think nothing of the past and nothing of the future. I'm present in that moment. If I'm listening to someone, I'm listening to that person, right? My focus is there. So that's another thing. That's another thing that people find to be attractive, especially girls. Again, they find that to be attractive because you are at that moment, right? You are in that moment, and you are connecting with this person on a real deep level. You might not feel it, they might not feel it, but like I said, that subtle reading, that unconscious reading is there, right? Not unconscious, rather subconscious reading is there. So that's the mental presence part of it. You are really in that moment. You don't think of the past, you don't think of the future. You are making this moment a great moment. You are making the living moment count. That's what mental presence is about. You are in this moment. You are living in this moment. You are living right now, not in the past, not in the future. So that's the mental presence of it. Moving on to the fourth subtopic of the day, which is focus. Let's take the same exact example as the previous one, and let's just modify that analogy a little bit. Let's say you have that same kind of room, same kind of system, but the specialty of this system is that this system can grab onto whatever the sound that it chooses to, or that it focuses on, right? If that's if that case, if that is the case, if your system can grab onto some sound in its surrounding, no matter how lesser pronounced it is compared to the other sounds in the environment, that's the focus. That is how it feels, right? Let's say you have all these different things going on around you, but if you wanna grab onto something, like mentally, if you wanna pay attention to something, you can pay attention to that thing, because your mental state is much more developed than it is before. With this recovery thing is more so about regaining what you've lost from the addiction, and you can accelerate and you can be a better person from there. But the initial process of this recovery is all about regaining what you've lost to this addiction. That's another thing you need to understand and realize. So focus goes a long way, because right now I'm listening to my lectures and things like that, and like 85% of the lecture is going into my head right in that moment, right? I don't have to read all these slides and read them like 10 times. No, if I focus on the lecture, I can grab onto like 80-85% of the lecture right away. So reading the slide once or twice, it's golden. So that's the power of focus. That's an inherent trait in a human, but we lose that due to addictions and other things in our lives. So this is huge. This aspect, the focus aspect of this recovery, is huge. So we talked about the focus, and that focus will help you keep the fifth subtopic of the day, which is compulsion, right? Here's the thing. When I was addicted to pornography, I was always in an emotional extreme of some sort. I was living in an emotional extreme of some sort. I was always on the edge, right? So the slightest inconvenience, I'm all over the place mentally, and I get faced quite a lot by the slightest inconvenience. I used to, at least, get faced by the slightest inconveniences, like a lot. And when that happens, I'm physically all over the place, I'm mentally all over the place, like nothing works, right? Nothing works out. I'm not saying that, I do not get faced at all nowadays. Um, I do get faced a little bit from certain things, um, but here's the thing: when I've been faced by the biggest inconveniences in my life, when the biggest inconveniences present themselves, I'm like, for the most part, I'm like, yeah, this kind of sucks. This does suck, and sometimes it sucks a lot. What I think to myself is that, yeah, this sucks, but what can I do to make it suck less? You know, that's what life is kind of all about, right? Making the best out of every single situation you face. And I'm not saying that there's no room for betterment, and there's no ways to better your situation, but sometimes you can't help it, right? Sometimes things happen in your life that's way beyond your control. So in those situations, you have to make the best out of the situation that you are in, right? So to do that, the composure helps a lot. Always, if you are composed, you are thinking of the best possible result, the best possible solution, not result, solution for the scenario that's at hand, right? So composure goes a long way. The more composed you are, the more collected you are, the better solutions you will come up with in inconveniences, like major inconveniences in your lives. You will still find a way to get back up to your feet and continue on. You might get rocked, you might get hurt, but you will not get finished in life. You will always find a way to get back up to your feet and keep the fight going. If you are not faced, and if you are not always at that emotionally high state, right? So that's a huge thing I experienced. The composure is a huge thing I experienced since I started this recovery. I'm now much more composed than I was when I was a porn addict. I wasn't composed at all back then. And moving on to the sixth subtopic of the day, which is purpose. All these things have interrelations with each other, right? All these things come in the same package, right? So when you are recovering, all these things will come, slowly but surely. So with the purpose thing, this recovery has given me purpose. Before I was like, running around like a headless chook. I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a direction to go. I was just spending time on earth for the sake of it, right? So now, instead of running around like a headless chook, I have a direction, I have a path, and I have a journey towards greatness. This is not to say that I never slide away from that path, right? We all do. It's not like it has never been about perfection, right? You can't achieve perfection. Perfection is an arbitrary thing that doesn't exist. But you can always be better. There's always room for betterment. And also, when I slide away, when I slide out of that route, since I know what the route should look like, what the destination looks like, when I'm sliding away from that route, towards a different destination, my this ain't it light is always bright red. So I'm like, no, this is not it. There's always alerts going on in my head, and I'm like, yeah, this is not it. I have to get my butt back to that route, right? Back to that route towards greatness. So that way, I'm just turning myself back into that route, and sliding back into that route and keep going. That is the purpose of your life, right? That's the basis of the purpose of your life. And I, for one, found my purpose to be helping out people, helping out men specifically, to get rid of their porn addiction and be the best versions of themselves, right? That's a step-by-step process, but I'm pretty sure that I have all the tools in order to help men achieve that, right? So that's my purpose, right? Your purpose might differ, quite a bit from that. Your purpose might be helping animals out, which is something I do as a passion, on the side. Animal rights activism has been a huge part of my life for years, so I still do that. But also I have to manage all these things, right? I have to manage my academics, I have to manage, this YouTube and all these other things, animal rights activism, yada yada yada. So there's a lot. There's a lot on my plate, but the purpose that I found, for myself, and the purpose that you might find for yourself, we both have one thing in common. The purposes of ours have one thing in common, right? Which is the fact that it helps out the world to achieve an abundance of some sort, achieve a positive abundance of some sort, right? Be it food, be it mental clarity, be it anything else, right? Be it for animals, be it for humans, that doesn't matter. But your purpose will always have something to offer to the world, have some sort of an abundance to offer to the world, and all those people who live with a purpose will help this world to get to a better place, and we all have our parts to do in that puzzle, right? So most people are basically wasting their lives away without coming to that purpose and achieving that purpose and serving that purpose. But I want you guys to be there, and I want you guys to get there faster, and that's why I'm doing these videos. So purpose is a huge thing, and the purpose, like I said, the confidence is the most pronounced benefit of this, but the purpose is closely connected to that confidence, because when you are confident and when you believe that you can do it, you are gonna go for it. There will be bumps and all sorts of barriers across your way, right? Along the way, you're gonna face a lot of different difficulties, but if you are confident enough, you will find yourself serving that purpose no matter what you face in your whole journey. For instance, yesterday was not a great day for me, because the day before yesterday was a day where I kind of deprived my sleep. Like I slept like 6 hours instead of 8 or 9. So yesterday sucked for me. Yesterday I was kind of on an emotional extreme, and I've had urges, but again, I dealt with those urges, perfectly, because I had all the right tools to deal with those things, right? So I got that urge under control right in time before sliding back into pornography, right? So yeah, that's gonna be huge. And moving on, last but not least, is alertedness, right? Alertedness is like the centerpiece of all this. Alertedness is what makes it all work, right? Makes it all bind to each other, for me at least, right? When you are alerted, you will feel a lot of things, and when you are alerted, there's a lot to it. to alertedness. So if you are alerted, and when you are alerted, you will feel that resensitization for the maximum potential, right? And also, you will have that you will have that confidence when you are alerted. Say, when the big blows come on your way, you will see those, right? You will read the cues better, and you know you will brace properly for those things. You might get rocked in those situations, but you will always, find yourself like maybe knocked down instead of knocked out, because you braced for those things properly, and that will reduce the recovery time significantly, right? So that way you will have the opportunity to just get back up and push forward, right? So it helps all those things. It helps your confidence, it helps your mental presence, focus. That's a huge thing. The alertedness is a huge thing when you are recovered, or when you are at least recovered for the most part, and when you are in a rather stabilized position in your life. Also, when you are alerted, you will connect to your surroundings in a much deeper sense, in a much better way. So instead of running around like a headless chook, it will help you keep up with your focus and mental presence and things like that, as I discussed. And then when you are alerted, that will give you this ability to see the paths of the solution to the situation that's at hand, right? To the problem that's at hand. So you will see the paths to the solution within the problem itself when you are alerted. So that will allow you to grab those things and run with those things. So that will help you with your composure, right? When you are composed and when you are alerted, you will also see the parts, nuts and bolts within yourself to really build up a base that can give you that purpose, and that can give you the right mindset, that can give you the right path to serve that purpose, right? So alertedness to me is the binding agent of all this. It's let's make another analogy here, right? Let's say you make a stir fry, right? Like Chinese style or maybe Japanese style. I don't know Japanese even make the stir fries. Maybe they do. Like yellow skinned people are rather huge on those stir fry things. But anyway, I digress. The MSG in a stir fry is like the binding agent of it all, right? It binds all the flavors, and it kind of enhances the whole experience of eating a stir fry in the first place. So alertedness is kind of like that. It will enhance and elevate the whole thing without straining you too much, or without having to do too much. So this seventh and last subtopic of the day will enhance all these six, and will keep all those things together, will keep all those things bound together. So alertedness is a much, it's also a big one, right? It's also a super important thing in your recovery. So these are the things that I feel to be changed compared to where I was when I was a pornography addict. That's about it. That's all I have today. And this has already been a long video, right? And with all the behind the scenes things, I'm sweating half to death as always. And yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm very black in this. Like, nearly 40-degree weather. Like it's real close to 40 degrees today, and in the nearly nearly 40-degree weather today, I'm wearing black and sweating half to death, right? Now my American viewers would be like, oh, what is he talking about? 40 degrees is not hot at all. Is he nuts? Here's the thing. I'm not talking about Fahrenheit. I'm talking about Celsius. Celsius, which is 90 something Fahrenheit, which is admittedly real hot, right? So I mean, the rest of the world is not weird like that to use Fahrenheit. Like a degree of Fahrenheit is like 1.8 degrees of Celsius. So it's ridiculous to make the conversions between the two. Anyway, I digress. Right? So you guys have an idea about the hardship that that occurs in these videos. But anyway, please do consider supporting this channel and make the hardship worthwhile. Help me out to get this message to thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. Right? Help the channel out. I appreciate all your support. So the whole YouTube deal, by now, like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't have to repeat all those things in every single video, but I do, because right now I don't get much of any of those things. But every single bit of support is much appreciated, and I'm really grateful for you guys. Let's get this channel to 100 subscribers, and to 1,000 subscribers later down the road, 10,000, 100,000. Let's just get this channel grow, and let's just get this channel to reach out to more and more people, right? So every bit of support that you do by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, that's much appreciated, and I'm much grateful for that, right? So that's all I got for you today, and I will end the video right here. Until next time, I will end the video right here. Until next time, I'm High Value Guy, and may the Triple Gem bless you. I kind of messed up the outro, but whatever.